This podcast was produced with the financial support of the European Union and the Culture Fund. Contents are the sole responsibility of Aloud and do not necessarily reflect the views of the European Union and the Culture Fund. Hello, hi. I'm back. Alright, my name is Nozbel Maposa, also known as Mapo. This is Skyz Aloud, a podcast brought to you by Culture Fund Zimbabwe. So today I've got the controversial topic, the most controversial topic. Drum rolling, wait for it. Bam, 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 bam. Feminism. So why don't you join us as the beautiful Patience Phiri, who's a creative entrepreneur, a mom, an activist, and also a TV host, tells us more about feminism. Hi, Patience.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. Thanks for joining us on the show today.
Okay,
so I'll just jump on it.
Hey, no chance.
No.
Okay.
So what is feminism?
Feminism is a movement that seeks to address inequalities from, I guess, that we've got from patriarchy over time. It's a movement that wants to have equality and equity in our societies.
Okay.
That's, I think, the short part of it. There's like a whole long thing, but yeah. Let me not be judged on the thing that hangs between my legs, or because I'm a woman, or because of what. Look at me and know that I am equal.
All right.
Pay me equal.
All right.
All those things.
Okay. So what makes one a feminist?
Oh, wow. It's when you look at your life or you look around you and you see that there are things that need to be addressed, and you feel like you want to be part of that movement. Okay. You want to push for equality. You want to have, in my instance, I wanted to see more females represented in key decision-making positions. Okay. I wanted to see young girls achieving their dreams and not being told you can't do this because you're a girl, or you can't do this because women don't do this. What is it that women don't do?
Yes.
I wanted to see women take their place and have a voice.
In society.
Yes. Across the board. I wanted to see our issues being talked about and not as been saying, no, awulanto. Women's rights are human rights.
Women are women.
So that's what I wanted. So for me, I would say I can't speak for everyone because to each their own. Feminism is not a kepesi that you like one size fits all.
Okay.
So it's what your struggles are, what your fights are, and what you want to challenge.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, but then of late, the word feminism, it now has some negative connotations.
Yeah.
Why is it that? And how do we restore the word to its original meaning?
Lalil. It has whatever people feel some type of way.
Yes.
Because the title, the word, I don't even know how to say it. Feminism, it's challenging what has been a norm.
A status quo or whatever.
So patriarchy has been happy.
Yes.
And if you want to know, patriarchy is happiest.
Yes.
Demanding of women to be less.
Yes.
So now if anything comes after thousands of years or whatever, that challenge is that says no, but what is it that makes me less than you?
Okay.
Why do you think we're now like, what is it? Because you are male and I'm female? That doesn't make sense. Yes. We are equals.
Yeah.
And therefore, we should pull together as equals.
Okay.
So when people feel some type of way, it's when we demand equal rights. And people hate Beijing. And I think Beijing is in the 25th year.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, Beijing, because of there is no woman in their right mind.
Yes.
Listen, that wants to be a man. There is no woman.
Yeah.
What women want is to have the opportunity to be equal.
Equality.
That's all we want. You can keep your manness. We don't care. But we just want that. So when people feel some type of way, it's because they feel like they're being challenged.
And they're being threatened.
And they're being threatened.
Okay.
Because now when women are coming, and when women come together,
yes,
there is a way that when women come together, magic happens. We can't have that. So for the longest time, patriarchy has divided women. We are divided according to tribe. according to race. We are divided up by our hair. There's naturals, there's the weaves, and they constantly push these divides amongst us, so that we can never at one point realize that, no, actually, all that doesn't matter. Are you a woman? Yes, I am. Are you a woman? Yes, I am. Let's come together and bring our issues, because whether you're black, blue, white, green, yellow, women's issues remain women's issues across the board.
Okay. So what is the biggest misconceptions about feminism and feminists?
How much time do we got? Many people think feminists are angry.
Yes.
And angry, let me say that. Many people think feminists are angry, which we are.
Yes.
But they think we are angry at men.
Yes.
What they don't get is that we're angry at the system of patriarchy.
All right.
Men, but we're angry at the system, that continues to raise men over women. That is what we're angry at. People think feminists are lesbians. Listen, people think that feminists are ugly women. People think that feminists are women that have been rejected by men. I don't know why men think they're so high up the ladder, but anyway. People think that feminists are... Yes,
okay.
But this is it. We don't hate anybody. We hate the system.
Okay.
So there needs to be clarity.
The bitterness and the anger.
It's not bitterness. It's not bitterness. It's us challenging a system.
All right.
And our anger comes from not getting the response and getting more people to say, you know what, actually it makes sense.
Okay.
That is where the anger comes from. We should not in 2020 be talking about girls struggling to get sanitary wear, women struggling to get sanitary wear. Why are we struggling about that? We should not in 2020 have women asking if they should abort or not. We should not in 2020 have men telling us what sexiness is and what it is not. We should not have in 2020, we're still having people saying, hey, when are you going to have a boy?
Yes.
We should not. That is the system that we're angry about. Because the longer we continue with that, a girl child should know that she is just as equal and should be celebrated just as equal as a boy child. So we can't in 2020 be saying we are angry because we want to be men. No, we are angry because we want equal opportunities.
Okay, so is there a relationship between feminism and religion? How is it like if it's
the relationship is there. Look, personal choices.
Yes.
Like I said, feminism is a personal choice.
Yes.
Therefore, religion is also a personal choice.
Okay.
But you will find that religion and culture have a way of being quasi watchdogs of patriarchy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And because we have taken up religion, let me say we've taken up religion as black people. I'll speak for black people.
Yes.
We now think we know the Bible so much. But in our knowledge of the Bible, we are very selective.
Of what to read and what
Women
to take
submit to your husbands.
Yes.
But we forget that in the same line, it says that as husbands, two should love their wives, right?
Yes.
In some book in Galatians, it talks about how in the whole kingdom of heaven, there is no man, there's no woman, there's no Gentile, there's no Jew. We are all equal before God. Okay. But then Christians, Bible bashers, they want to then bring women down. But they're forgetting that this Jesus guy, who's the main actor in this Bible thing, was, I would say, a feminist. Okay. Think about the stories about Jesus.
Yes.
He had the woman with blood. He accommodated her. In the Jewish tradition, and even in our own African tradition, when a woman is on a period, you're unclean, all these things, all these things. But he allowed this woman to touch him.
Yes.
Jesus is the same guy, the woman who was a prostitute, and everyone's like, He was like, no, guys, it's cool. This is the same Jesus who was caught in adultery.
Yes.
Because I guess she was doing adultery by herself.
Right.
Anyway, she was caught and she was being stoned. And this is the same Jesus who said, he without the first sin without sin, cast the first stone.
Yes.
This was the same Jesus, right?
Yeah.
So listen, if then you want to then take that same Bible and then mix up the same Jesus and make this Jesus to be such a horrible person towards women, I think that is wrong.
All right.
I think it's great that we have Christianity, we have religion, whatever it is. You have your spirituality to push you.
Yes.
To know that you can count on it, but don't then use it to keep me in check.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So where does feminism stand on affirmative action? For example, uthi umntwana wenkazana kumele abe lama-points less to maybe utangene good law and whatnot. Do you think it goes against the movement of feminism?
This is the part where, Nozi, I have to kind of break it down and show off.
You go, girl.
The point of that happening is that men have been benefiting from the system.
Oh, right.
For the longest time.
Okay.
So this is when equity comes in.
Yes.
Right? Equity is saying because girls have been disadvantaged for a while, we are trying to bridge the gap. Okay. If we have two buildings, enye enarazet, enye ihaten and sly.
Yes.
And it's alingani. But ufune lingani. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Are you going to bring down Enarazet to the level of Hatton and Sly?
Yes.
Or are you going to take the Hatton and Sly, which is a shorter building, and try and prop it up until it gets? That is equity.
Right.
Because equity is fairness. Equality is sameness.
Yes.
But we want to be the same and we want it to be fair. So what is happening now, which is where all the quota systems are coming in, the PR things are coming in, it is trying to bridge a gap that has been created over a period of time.
Okay, Peshi, but then where does this put the male counterparts? Do you think they feel discriminated in some type of way?
Listen, they probably should, because that is how we've been feeling. I'm glad that they're feeling some type of way, because that is how we've been feeling all along.
Okay.
They have been benefiting from the system for the longest time. Listen, if the boy goes ahead, who wants to educate a girl when she's going to go and get off married and when have children? All those things have been issues. Women can't vote. Women can't buy. In Swaziland, women still can't open a bank account without a husband, and you can't access your money without a male, whether it's your father, it's your brother, it's your what. How is that happening in 2020? And we don't hear men complaining. But if we woke up and we said, men, you can't access you can't open a bank account, you can't access without your wife or your sister or your mother, what would happen?
Yes.
If men had to go on periods, do you think we'd be having sanitary ware problems? I think they would be free at every corner. There would be more than the beans that we have in the cities. But so that is why we're saying it is time that women also come to the party and they also have an opportunity to all these spaces.
Okay, but then this day, there's an increased numbers of male feminists. Can a man be a feminist?
A man can be a feminist.
Yes.
Because like I said, it's an idea. It's not a gender thing. It's not because you're a woman and therefore you are. It's believing in the ideas. Remember, men are born of women too. Strangely, I know it sounds strange, but men are born of women too.
Yes.
They have sisters. They have daughters. So it's the idea of saying, I would love my sister to be the best person that she is.
Yes.
Because she's a human being.
So, yes.
I would want my daughter to do this. I'd want my daughter to say, Daddy, I can't be a pilot because I'm a girl.
Okay.
Right? And that's where the funniest thing happens. People have this disconnect. But it's feminism and it's bad when Patience is talking about it.
Yes.
But if it's their daughter having this dream of, Daddy, I want to be president of Zimbabwe. Oh, my Kelly, you can do anything. But if Patience then says, I want to be president, you can't be president, you're a woman.
You reminded me of this joke. So this guy in a group, he says, he comments, he says, he just it was body shaming women. And then this lady, she responds to him and says,
then he gets upset.
He got upset.
Exactly.
He was charged.
So that is where you see that there's a disconnect.
Yeah, that's true.
In this whole conversation, which is where also culture comes in, which is where also language comes in.
Yes.
Because all these things continue to perpetuate the troubles that we have. People say things and they think they are funny. And they're actually not.
All right. So can you talk about the men are trash? What's the feminist standpoint on this?
Look, I don't speak for all feminists. I speak for myself. So don't say feminists say it. Say Patience say it.
All right.
While there are men that are trash, I think it's important for us to remember that there are good men.
Out there, yes.
And unfortunately, the trashy ones seem to take over and run the narrative. But they are good men. They are good men. They are men who do amazing things, that are raising children. They are men that are keeping homes warm and standing. They are men that are supporters, great supporters of these and many other movements. So men are trash. Look, there are some women that are trashy.
All right.
But I hate that we want to judge a grouping of people on like 2, 3, 50, 60, 100 bad ones.
Okay.
I think we need to be very balanced and very factual when we say that. Because by saying that feeds into the ideology that we are angry at men. We are not angry at men. We are angry at the trashy
system.
men. Let's be at the trashy men, at the men that are raping women, at the men that are abusing women. We're at the men that are killing wives and children and what. Men that are not supporting their children. Men that are just being chacharaki. We are mad at those men. We're not mad at all men. Because bayachian.
All right. Okay. So can one be a feminist and be a housewife? You know, and there's a family. She has a husband. She's got kids. She's taking care of primarily.
Misconception. Why people think a feminist can be a wife? Why people think a feminist can be a girlfriend? Why people think a feminist can be a mother is beyond me.
All right.
Right?
Yes.
I am a mother. I'm a mother to a 21-year-old.
Yes.
And I am very spirited in my movement.
Yes.
That doesn't change anything. From time to time, I am a partner to somebody.
Yes.
And I'm very spirited. What feminism? It's ideals.
Okay.
Right? So if my partner, if my children understand what this is about, it's a conversation that is to be had. I'm not trying to be my male partner.
All
right?
Yes.
I am just being me. And then he needs to also understand that, hi, Ngani, we are equals in this relationship. Auntie.
Okay.
Unfortunately, like I'm saying, I have an issue with colonization, like greatly. Before, we were hunters and gatherers. When you read your history books, hunters, gatherers. The men went out to hunt. The women stayed home with the fires and gathered berries that were close to. That's what history taught us.
Yes.
And it was perfect because that means that women were still working and they were contributing, if you listen to that. And people want to think that feminism is a thing that just sailed in from nowhere.
Yes.
African setup, hunters, gatherers. Who was hunting?
Who was gathering?
Men would go out, women would stay home. But they would work. Stay home, no. They were staying home. They were within. When they're gathering their berries, the firewood, that means everyone is contributing equally.
Okay.
Right? And now when we think about it, women should do it. But women have been doing it.
Okay. All right. Okay, but then there's an article that's still on the African concept here, feminism. Okay, by Rayton Zimeri. He alleges that feminism has destroyed the dynamic of African family. Has it?
Listen, I don't understand why we're giving that guy air to breathe. His entire article is a fantasy. It reads like a fantasy. Look, and that's from me.
Yes.
Because he's talking about women kneeling when they're giving their husbands food. He's talking about how women now want money in that article. He's talking about why... due to feminism, there's now single parented households and how all their children end up being knife. He's got this thing that he likes, that knife stepping, something stupid.
Okay, but then would you say feminism has destroyed African family?
No, it hasn't. Which is why I'm saying the idea that we think feminism is a new thing is not. In our African society, you will get it umam.
Yes.
Right? When you look at elders, if I had to come to your home, to your mother, to your father or your grandfather, and I said, tomorrow we want to come and visit.
Yes.
He won't say yes to me. He'll say, and I will get the yes or the no from who?
From the mom.
Yes. Why? It's not because we're Sapufaswaki. It's because even in the African setup, a woman's place is very sacred. Which is why umntwana engachaya unina bayathi ulebhadi. Libhadi. I don't know in English what it's called.
Yes.
But that is what it is, because the space of a woman in a home is sacred.
Okay.
The space in our society, a woman is valued.
All right.
So when we say that feminism has killed the family fiber, I think it's a lie. It's a lie.
Okay, a very radical form of feminism and suggests that any heterosexual sex is rape. Why would such a suggestion be made? Where do you stand on it, and why?
Like I said, feminism is not just one thing.
Yes.
Feminism has different strands. There's the radicals, there's the liberals, there's the Africans.
Yes.
But all those things, like I said, it's custom made.
Yeah.
You have to know what it is that you want. Even when we say African feminism,
All right.
what kind of African am I? I'm a Zimbabwean. But what kind of Zimbabwean?
All right.
I'm in Ndebele girl in Bulawayo. But what kind? In the urban city, so my struggles are different from a Ndebele girl who's in Flapusi.
No, okay.
Right.
Yes.
So when the radicals say that heterosexual sex is rape, that for them justifies their strand of feminism, right? For me, what I think sex in itself is a conversation that must be had.
Okay.
And I must come into it fully aware and knowing.
All right.
And if it is with my permission, and I feel like this is...
So long as it's consensual, it works.
It's consensual. This person, I know, we've talked about everything. Are we using condoms? Are we not? Are we going to have fun? Who's coming to whose house? What happens in the event that I get pregnant? Have we tested? What are all those things?
All right.
For me, in my feminism,
All right.
if I have a say in it and I'm coming in as an equal partner, I'm not the one that's just lying there and closing my eyes and counting to 10. I really believe that it is fine.
All right. Before you take a break. Okay. What's the relationship between feminism and the LGBT community? And do you think a feminism on its own, I'm just trying to wrap it up, do you think it's the end game or end game of feminism?
Okay.
What do feminists hope to achieve?
Let me start with the last one. What is the end game? The end game is equality and equity.
Yes.
Full stop. We want to have equal opportunities. That is the end game. That we live in a world where 50-50 is not just something that is written down and said to fulfill SDGs, but it's something that is lived, that a generation of women will finally experience to its fullest what an equal world is. That is the end game.
Okay.
Right?
So, but then is a relationship between
the relationship is really, we are somehow drawn together because of the issue of gender.
All right.
And we all want to be recognized by patriarchy.
Okay.
Because it's the same patriarchy that's saying homosexuality is what is that. Women is that.
Oh,
so this is what brings us together.
Okay.
That we're saying we are people.
Like we, I guess
like
common
you,
enemies.
yes. So we are people, and we have human rights. We are humans, therefore we have human rights.
Right.
That is what it is. See us and acknowledge us.
Okay.
Don't think that we are not there. Stop acting like you're the only ones that own the world. So that is where the relationship comes in, because we are all fighting to be seen, to be heard, to have our spaces in our society without any side eyes and judgment and wara everything else that they bring to the table.
Okay, thank you so much, Pishi. After the break, we'll look at the audience reviews on feminism. Yes.
Don't burn us down! Don't burn us down!
This podcast was produced with the financial support of the European Union and the Culture Fund. Contents are the sole responsibility of Aloud and do not necessarily reflect the views of the European Union and the Culture Fund. Welcome back, Ashi.
Thank you.
All right. So, the feedback that we got from our audiences, the first one, someone just sent, we should all be feminists.
Yes.
Yes. I suppose it's a reference from Chimanda.
Yes. Ngozi Chimamanda. Yes. I agree. They should all be like that. I hope all the comments are like that. But we should all be feminists in the fact that we should all push for change.
All right.
We should all push for a better world. We should all push for equal opportunities for everyone. Because it's one day you're a woman, the next is because you're black, the next it's because you are this. But if we all push for equality for everybody across the board, whether you're homosexual or not, and you say, I just want
Equality
to be here on my capabilities, not on anything else.
All right.
We change the world.
Okay. So when you say I was okay with feminism at first, but these modern feminists are taking it too far. I don't consider myself a feminist, although I agree with its initial principles. Now it's just noise.
Is it? I still want to have my life after this, but what I will say is, it's also, look, with everything,
yes,
you have to sift. Someone is saying this. You have to find it for yourself. You have to push the movement for yourself. What is it? Don't allow other people to then decide what your feminist should be, or what your feminist fight should be. Right? Because abantu benzi izinto ezithile. We now live in a social media world where people want to hashtag feminist, but that doesn't work. Right? So don't let, others just muddle your waters. Stay true to yourself and to your fight.
Okay. The other one says, I think there are too many bits of women out there, especially on Twitter. While some may call them what called feminists, a lot of them don't understand what feminism is all about.
The first part I will ignore. The second part I will respond and say, unfortunately, that is true. Okay. The idea of feminism is great, but people forget that it's not just an idea, it's a lifestyle. You can't just say, hi, my name is Patience, I'm a feminist. You have to live it.
All right.
So for many people, it's nice to say, hi, I'm a feminist, but they actually don't live it. And they have not taken time. It's an ongoing lesson because we constantly remember we are cultured differently. And from the time that we're growing up, from even going back to school, even whatever, all these things that we learned, we were taught you're a boy, you're a girl, therefore a boy can do this. Now, in the journey of feminism, you have to start re-unlearning all these things, and then learning the right things, learning your language, how you speak, how you say to your nieces and nephews, let's play. Why are you saying that? Then you have to check yourself and realize that no, my nieces and nephews are equal. So everyone in my home does the same thing. If we're all playing with dolls, we're all playing with dolls. And when your nephew says, but I'm not a girl, then you check them and be like, listen, Nana, it's not just girls that play with dolls and things like that. So it's a journey. So unfortunately, some people feel they've arrived at a destination and they haven't. So I agree, there are many people that claim to be feminists, but they don't live it. And we catch some slack for it. But then you can't take away from all the other people that are doing great work.
Okay. So this one came through. I refuse to call myself a feminist because it is these funny parameters that people have set that I can't confine myself to.
Ain't nobody asking you to confine yourself to nothing. Listen, people that say that, it's unfortunate that as we sit here, there are women that have fought hard in history for us to be here. There are women that had to be the first woman to go on air. The first woman to do a podcast, the first woman to direct, the first woman to be a lighting what, the first woman to be... There are women that have dedicated their lives for us women to enjoy some of the freedoms, because I'm not going to say, oh, we're not yet there. Some of the freedoms that we enjoy now. For you to be able to drive as a woman, in the Arab world, it's still a thing. Women can drive. For you to be able to be educated, as far as you can, your money can take you. For you to be able to vote, which is a big thing. Right? For you to be able to have your own house. Do whatever you want. There are women that have sacrificed their life for that. So it's so sad when some, I would assume that's a woman, would come out and say, I don't wanna... That feels like a handmaiden for patriarchy, because you want... But then it depends on what day it is. And that's really sad. Pick a side. There's no side that is easy. It will be hard, like anything in life. But pick a side and stick with it.
All right. Lord, I used to be proud to be called a feminist, but now it feels like an insult.
People will insult you. Women are insulted anyway. We are insulted for anything. The moment you wake up, you're insulted. You're insulted by the children that you raise. If your child does something stupid, and no one touches on the dad. Right? We are insulted by what we are wearing. We are insulted anyway. But why not stand up? Speak out. If they're coming for you, and they're coming for you for something that is legit,
stand your ground.
Let them come. And they will fall at your feet. because they're coming at you for something that is legit and you know where you stand with it. So if you insult me and say you're a feminist, I won't feel some type of way. I don't take it as an insult, because that's the same way that in our culture we say uzenza indoda, and that's supposed to be an insult. Right? Because now they say, hey, so yes. If that's the best that you can do, and I'm showing you what a man should look like, take the lesson. Bring out your pens and notebooks. Learn. This is what it should be.
Okay. So I would say I'm a feminist, but still I like a guy to pay for dates and holds doors for me. Just because I'm a feminist doesn't mean I don't like banjong fast.
That's another misconception, because we assume that feminists are unfeeling. We are very feeling. We are very emoji, vacation. We want those things. But like I said, when you go into a relationship as a feminist, you're going in there as an equal.
Okay.
You're going in there you know. And you have a conversation with your partner that you do not have the same ideals about.
Yeah.
So he will know, this is how I feel. I feel like, then you'll be like, okay, Mapiri, today we're going out, girl. Open my door. I like having my door opened. There's nothing wrong about it, as long as it doesn't mean that I'm weak or what, and it's done from a place of love, which is why I'm saying conversations are important.
Yes.
My partner will come. It's the same way that I am okay. If I'm in a good relationship and I feel happy in my relationship, I will cook for him.
Right.
I will kneel for him, because I'm not saying I'm kneeling in submission.
Yes, but
it's my expression of love to him.
Okay.
So that is me. And people express their love languages differently.
In different ways.
Yes. So there's no one thing that says you should or you shouldn't.
All right.
Be true in your ideals, right? And have someone who understands what those ideals are, so that when you then go into your relationship, everything is clear.
Okay.
You guys know I've got something else or something, and we're just loving each.
Okay. Thank you so much, Patience.
Welcome to the feminist side.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Girls Aloud, supported by Culture Fund Zimbabwe. You can follow us on our Twitter account at Girls Aloud ZW. Bye for now. This podcast was produced with the financial support of the European Union and the Culture Fund. Contents are the sole responsibility of Girls Aloud and do not necessarily reflect the views of the European Union and the Culture Fund.